Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, my name is Brittany and I talk all things beauty here on my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing eye swatches with the new Empowered palette from Huda Beauty Cosmetics. This is her holiday palette. This retails for $67. So if you're interested in this palette, if you like Huda Beauty, holiday releases, eyeshadow palettes, then please continue to watch this video. So here's what the beautiful palette looks like on the inside. And I do have the one, let's see, not the one from last year, but this is the Naughty Nudes. It was the one before. And let me just show you the inside, because when this palette was leaked and someone sent me a picture of it a few months ago and I was like, ooh, is that too similar to the Naughty Nudes palette? But honestly, I think that they're just like a different vibe. So let me just kind of compare and show you that the Naughty Nudes on the bottom is like a lot more mauve-y, pinky toned, whereas this one is a more warm tone mixed with cool tones. Just a different vibe in general. So y'all know me, I justified the difference and I definitely wanted to pick it up because I've been looking at this palette for months now and I just talked myself into it the more and more I saw it. Mainly like this half of the palette is what really caught my attention because I just felt like these tones right here were just kind of like okay, but I don't know, this palette is so beautiful and I thought let's do some eye swatches because there's so many different textures in this palette that I didn't just want to do one or two looks and some swatches. I wanted to try all of them out on the lid. So let's just jump into it, and I'm going to take this shade Purpose and put that all over. I know that these two are more of like that Vaseline texture, like they're a cream, but so you could use them as liners and stuff like that. But I'm going to zoom you in. I'm just going to put that all over my lid. I'm just going to go in with my finger. It's like black and I'm just going to kind of show you, I'm just going to pat it out with my finger. This would make an excellent liner, I can already tell, but as you can see, you can also sheer it out. I would personally use this for like a base for some beautiful multi-chrome shadows to make them pop. I think that would be awesome. So this is what it looks like all blended out. It's not blended to perfection, but I'm just going to take it off. But that's kind of what it looks like. And I don't think that this would crease because it kind of dries down the more I fill it. It's not like a tacky base, if you will. It's kind of like a cream and then it dries down pretty quick. But that's what it looks like if you just sheer it out. And now I'm going to go in with the shade Worthy right here. It's not as deep, but these textures are very unique. Well, maybe it's more of like a brown. So we have a black one and a brown one. I like that. Could have a brown liner or a black liner. And here are what those look like on the lid. So now I'm going to go in with the two golds and kind of compare, get those on both of my eyes. I'm just going to use those shades that I already have down for a base. Now I'm just going to take that on my finger and put it on what we already have. That works as a pretty good base, honestly. So pretty. These metallics are just blinding. Now I'm going in with the shade Charisma, which looks more of like a brighter gold, whereas the other one looks more of like an antique. I just thought that it'd be a good idea to put these up right next to each other so you could see if there is a difference if you were curious. You would definitely need to use a glitter glue, like some NYX glitter glue, because you would get lots of fallout with these shades. So here are those golds right next to each other. Honestly, once you get them on the eye, you can't tell a big difference if I'm just being honest. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Big Dreams in Winter. So this is more of a gray and this one is more of like a taupey, purpley, cool tone shade. So I just kind of want to see how those compare. Oh, this shade is so beautiful. It's like a perfect shade for me. It's not too purple, it's not too pink, it's not too gray or brown. It's just like perfect. And now I'm going to clean my brush and go in with the gray shade, and it's called Winter, and put that over here. I still have some glitter. Let's just ignore that. And this is what that shade looks like. So definitely a big difference with those shades. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Confident and the shade Rebel. Rebel is more of like that beautiful soft blushy tone. And then Confident looks like a deep purpley maroon. So let's just get those on. These mattes blend out very, very fast. And I don't have any base on because I'm constantly taking my makeup off. And this is the shade Confident. Beautiful. This is just such a necessary shade for me, like this deep maroon purple leaning shade. It's just one of my favorites. And here are what those two shades look like. Okay, these two shades look so similar. The shade Power right here and the shade Best Self. I'm going to now compare those. Honestly, they look identical. Power, which is what I'm putting on right here, it may be just a touch, like one shade lighter, but for the most part, those two shades look like they're going to be identical. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Best Self and put that over here. They're very peachy. And let's see, so very, very close. It's just the shade Power. It's just a little bit lighter than this one, but they're more on the peachy leaning side. So I feel like we could have gotten rid of the lighter one and just stuck with this. It seems a little bit repetitive. I would have liked to see a different shimmer. So now I'm going to compare the shade Get It with the shade Legacy. They're more warm tone. I'm just going to put the shade Get It right here. Still peachy. This shade is honestly very comparable to Best Self. It's just a touch darker. So, I don't know. Those three shades are just too similar. In my opinion, when you're spending $67, I think that we could, out of all these three right here, this one, and this one, we just needed one of those, in my opinion. Now I'm going in with the shade Legacy, which is definitely more orangey red, like super dark. More of like a brick tone. I'm just blending that out. Let's see. Definitely super fun for the fall. I really do like the shade Legacy. I think it's a nice touch to this palette. So the last matte shade is the shade Keep Going, which this one looks more of a neutral tone brown, which I do appreciate that. So let's see. I'm just going to put that all over my lid. Okay, I really do love this shade. I think it is such a necessity in this palette because these shades right here are all very warm tone, whereas this is more of a neutral, and so is the shade Rebel, which is more of like a pinky tone. So you could take it very warm, or you could take it neutral with this, more pinky with these two shades, or super cool tone. So I like the mattes in here. It's kind of cool how you can go neutral, warm, and cool, but I just feel like, in my opinion, these three shades are too similar. But now let's move on to the shimmer. I'm going in with the shade Courageous. It's like a super pretty pinky purpley shade. Oh, this has got shifts to it. This is pretty. Let me just pop that on. This has got a super deep base to it. It's not light in any way. It's a super deep, rich, almost like a black base with like pink purple peeking through. If you love a deep shimmer, I think that you would really like this shade. With that shade blended out, it just looks like I got punched in the eye. Okay, now I want to go in with the shade Visionary, which is like one of the swirl shades right here. I think that shade is so pretty. I hate messing it up. Oh, but that's what it looks like. So pretty. This one is more of a satin. There's not sparkles in here. It's not like a true metallic either. It's just a beautiful satin shade. I think that this shade paired with those beautiful warm tones would be just such a beautiful everyday soft look. And this is what that shade looks like whenever I got it all blended out on the lid. I really do like that satin. I think it's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going in with the shade Manifest It, which I have been wanting to go in with this shade ever since I got this palette. It looks so unique, and it has like a divot in it, you see? It's like a balmy shade with maybe like a gel. So it's got shimmers. So on the side are the shimmers, and in the middle is the gel. So, you know the shade in her other palettes, everyone said it looked like a virus or something. It's like that, only in a pretty way. So I'm going to put this stunning shade all over my lid. So that feels like more of a gel shimmer hybrid mix. I don't know what she's calling it, but that's what I'm calling it. It's like a cream with shimmer in it. It's very unique. I've never felt anything like this shadow. So pretty. Now I'm going in with the shade Bold Moves. It's got silver with gold flakes in there. It is so beautiful. So I'm going to mess it up and dig my finger in there. This is like a true metallic. It looks so pretty. I adore this shade. It's not like a true silver or a true gold. It's just like when you mix it together, it's like a beautiful champagne. And this is what that shade looks like all over the lid. It would be a perfect inner corner. One more shade to swatch. It is the shade Do It right here. A beautiful bronzy tone. Looks like I see a perfect bronzy shade. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I'm so glad that they added this shade in here. And that is what it looks like all over the lid. This could be super warm if you pair it with these shades, but if you just go into this more neutral for your crease and then you pop that, it would be just like a pretty fall bronzy look without being too warm. I love it. So I'm going to take this off, put some primer on my lids, and we'll do a look together. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the shade Keep Going right here, which is that more neutral leaning brown, and I'm just going to put that in my crease. To add a little bit more pinkiness to it, I'm going to go with the shade Rebel right here and just kind of layer that right on top. This is one of my favorite shades. I so love this shade. It's so pretty. To deepen it up just a little, I'm going to go in with the shade Confident right here and deepen the outer corners up for some definition. I love this shade. I'm so glad that she added that in here. It's such a nice touch. On the lower lash line, I'm going in with that pinky tone Rebel shade and running that all across from outer to inner. For the center, I really want to go with the shade Manifest. I think this is the most unique shade in the palette as far as texture goes. It's just so cool. And I just want to pop that all over my lid. For that, I want to go in with the shade Do It just a touch. I will say that the shade Manifest, the one I just laid it down, with the texture of the gel in there added to the shimmer, it does enhance the texture on my lids. I just wanted to note that if that's something that bothers you. That shade in particular, a lot of Huda Beauty formulas, they really enhance my textures as far as like the shimmers go. Like you can see how it just doesn't look smooth. So I'm going to put a gold on top as well. I just wanted to kind of layer it right on top to give it a really pretty shine. Okay guys, so as far as the packaging goes, I like it. I don't love it. It's fine. I was just more in love with the color story, if I must say so myself. You know, Huda Beauty loves her warm tones and her burgundies, purpley tones. I will say that this side of the palette is what really made me buy it. I love it so much. I do actually appreciate the fact that you get some warm tones, a neutral, some cool tones in here as well. I love this palette so much because Huda Beauty has so many different textures and finishes in her formulas. I love that you get some more chunky shades, you get some true metallics, you get this really cool gel shade, you get some more pretty balm shades, just some satins. I really love all the different textures and finishes in this palette. I like the mix of the tones as far as neutrals, warms, cools go. But yeah, the only shade in here that I didn't like for myself personally was this shade right here because it has such a dark, deep base. I would have to put this on my lower lash line, but as far as the lid, I can't because it's just too deep for me and it kind of made me look like I had a black eye. But as far as the other shades go, I love it. It is so beautiful and I'm so glad that I got this palette. I do really like the look that I came up with as well. But you're going to have to let me know, did you pick up this palette? Is it on your wish list? But that's going to do it for today's video. I do hope that this was helpful. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye guys.